Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Breakfast Buddy. Today we have Beth and
Good
myself.
morning.
Good morning. So, how are you feeling today, Beth?
I'm doing very well today, Rachel. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I've been,
Good.
nice and perky today.
Oh, good. I'm glad
Yeah.
to hear it.
But yes, so I thought today we'll do our internal weather. For those who don't know, our internal weather is explaining how we feel, our moods in relation to the weather. So today I feel quite sunny with still winds, so it's not going to be too chilly, hopefully, near the end of the day, but I've been feeling nice and perky today.
That's
What about
good.
yourself?
I'm feeling like a bit of drizzle today. I'm good, but there's a little bit of drizzle there, and hopefully the wind will take it away later. And then
Yeah.
as the day gets brighter, we'll get better.
Yeah, hopefully. To be honest, a drizzle is nice sometimes, just a nice little refreshment every
Yeah,
now
a bit of a refresher.
Yeah,
Wind blows it away, and then you're ready to go.
exactly.
Unless you've got washing outside, then that is not what you want.
No, thankfully I don't. I actually thought about that. Yeah. Because the cloud today does look quite cloudy.
It's a bit ominous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jordan and I were talking about this yesterday. I said to
It's
him,
through
"Do
the
you take
sunlight.
your washing out, or do you have an airer?" And he was like, "Oh no, I have an airer." And I was like, "Yeah." But it's the worst thing, isn't it, where you've got washing outside and then it's like, "Rain, quick, go!"
Yeah. There's like remind me of the scene in the Muppets where Kermit's like flailing his arm and you have to run in like the laundry. So over the weekend there was actually a couple and we bought both of them today. So I didn't. That was quite a coincidence. So the one that I bought was National Sibling Day,
Yeah.
and that was on the 10th of April.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I do. So I have a younger brother. He is 18.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only sibling I've got. I've only got one.
Oh,
Have you got any?
Oh yeah, I have 4 older brothers.
4 older brothers.
Yeah.
God.
And then I'm the youngest and only girl in the family.
How is that? Do you like that, or do you not? Do you wish you had some female?
I remember growing up that I did want a little sibling because I wanted to feel like I was in charge every now and then. But it's really nice having 4 older brothers as well because growing up in school, I was never bullied.
Yeah, did they do that whole like protective big brother thing?
Yeah, and to be honest, I didn't realise how much they protected me until like I went to college, and then naturally, like sometimes you experience bullying, and I'm like, I've never experienced it before. What on earth is going on?
Yeah, it's
And
like they're not there anymore.
exactly, and like I'm having to, but I've learned from them by them bullying me, ridiculing me, in the way of like toughening me up. So whatever comments and stuff I hear, I'm like, I've heard worse. So
Yeah, I've got brothers. Nothing.
yeah, nothing will break me with having.
You say is worse than what they've said to me.
But I saw this really lovely article with I was just looking through Northampton news actually, and it was Joe Wiley, who I believe is a radio
host. Yeah.
Around a year ago, she made headlines with wanting to fast track vaccination for people with learning disabilities. And the reason this all came about was because the theme of National Siblings Day was I don't want to phrase it wrong. What I've learned from my sibling, like what my sibling has taught me. So this was theme is what I've learned from being a sibling.
Yeah.
And it basically shows you she's learned that it taught her the importance of speaking up. She's very loving and compassionate towards her sibling. And I kind of got myself thinking, what have I learned from being a sibling to my brothers? And I have to say, I've learned that it's okay to be angry, and it's okay to be upset about little things, because growing up I wasn't sure if I was allowed to be upset with certain things, and I would have my brother say like, no, you're allowed to be upset, but I didn't really know, like, couldn't understand why. And also giving me the confidence to walk into any room and say, hi, my name's Rachel, I would like to be a part of your team or this job. They're like, you're only one Rachel. Go in there, be you, and you'll get the job or whatever. So that's what I've learned from my siblings.
Yeah, I think for me, because I'm the oldest, I think it's kind of flipped that on his head. I don't know whether my brother would say the same or not, whether he's learned anything from me.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like I've tried to kind of not pave the way for him a little bit, but like be that guide if he needs it. I know, like, recently he's needed that a lot for me. Like, so he's in his last year at college at the moment, and he wants to go to uni in September. And I've been helping him a lot with assignments and stuff that he's done. So I think that kind of makes that connection a bit stronger. Like when we were younger, we kind of, you don't get along. I feel like it might just be me and my brother, but when we were younger, we used to argue a lot.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of, you just grow out of it, don't you? And I don't know if it's different for other people's relationships with siblings, but I think as you get older, it's the closer you get, isn't it? So
yeah, that's what I've noticed as well, because it's like when you go your separate ways as well, you seem to form a stronger bond online and through text messages and calls. And usually when it's like living at home, like one sibling I know I could never live with again, because they'll just go in, sit down, take the remote without asking, put whatever on, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, I was watching that, and they're like, don't care, I had a hard shift at McDonald's.
It's like, you're the youngest, sit down, shut up. I'm watching this now.
You had an easy life, Rachel, you're fine. I'm working in fast food. But like but that same sibling has been really helpful with like personal issues as well. So like questioning a lot about my identity, like sexuality and stuff. They've helped me a lot in that regard, in a sense of like sexuality is on a spectrum. So really it doesn't matter where you fall under. It's more about how you feel about yourself and are you comfortable within yourself. Which is things like that I never thought I'd learn and appreciate now that I'm 27.
They always say though, don't they, that the younger siblings get away with everything. Like the youngest child gets away with anything and everything, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. That my brother gets away with murder.
Oh yeah, I know I definitely did, and I think it helped. Like it might be the opposite for you, like you've got the baby boy of the family, so it's like, oh, it's the baby girl, like no, she can't do no wrong. And I can remember like looking over mum's shoulder and be like, and they're like, well, you're gonna get paid back for that one day. And they always follow through, which is great.
They also say something about middle child as well, don't they? Obviously, I don't know.
Oh yeah, like it's weird. Out of all 5 of us, there is definitely a middle child in there, but we're all so different. So my brother Gareth lives in New Zealand, got a doctorate in maths. Got a sibling called Marty who lives in London, who does media marketing. John goes to he lives in Spain, about to be engaged, so he said, and he basically teaches English over there.
Okay.
And then we've got my brother Tommy, who's a tree surgeon, and then myself, who works
They're
here.
all very different.
Yeah,
So
very different kids.
I think that's nice though, isn't it? Like me and my brother are so different. I think if you saw a picture of me and my brother, you wouldn't think we were related.
Oh,
We
really?
look so different, so different. He's got light blonde hair. Obviously, I've got dark brown hair.
Yeah.
He's really tall. I'm not as tall.
Is it like, have you taken more of your mum's genetics or your father's genetics?
I think it's my dad's side. I look a lot like my dad's mum, and then my brother's more of my mum's side. They've got all the height. They've got the height.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I find it so interesting how you see siblings and you think, oh yeah, they're related. Like you could walk down the street and see two people together and be like, they're related.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, isn't it? The way it all works. But I would also be interested to know if anyone watching is a single child, an only child, and what their world is like, because I can't imagine not having my brother.
No, I can't.
Like, when he goes to uni, I don't know what I'll do. I'll be so like lonely.
I know the feeling. Like as each sibling goes off to university, it's like it's always noticeable because like they're each so different. So you can tell that there's like they're not there. So I imagine that would be even more daunting when it's just one.
Yeah, like, the house is going to be very quiet.
What was the next day then for National Holiday?
Yesterday actually was National Pet Day, which I didn't even know that was a thing. Let me share the article that I found. So yesterday was National Pet Day, and this is actually Northampton as well. Pet owners were sharing what they think their pet would say to them if they could talk. Now, you've got quite a few pets, haven't you? Have you got 2 dogs and a cat, or 2 cats?
A cat, 2 dogs.
2 cats, 2 dogs. So before we read what people in Northampton have said, what they think their pets would say, what do you think your pets would say to you if they could?
I would say the sausage dog Aria. She would probably say to me, like, I also do voices for them. So like their personality. So like with Aria, it's more like, I love you. I love you so much. Thank you for putting up with me. I know I'm crazy.
Very Winnie the Pooh.
She has her adorable, cuddly, snuggly moment, but then she also has her wild zoomies around the house and then knocking everything over in the process. And all I can do is just watch. And like, I can't stop it all. I'll just let it happen. Poppy, I think she's more like, she's the oldest in the family, and I think she's got the role of like looking after me. So she's like, it's okay, Mum, I'll look after you. I'll sort you out. It's fine. Like, all the cats doing stuff on the side, I'll worry. And then Mavis, to be honest, I don't really have a voice for her, but like her personality screams it's chaotic. Very chaotic cat. Like she would climb on my door and then put her head down from the top of the door frame and look around, and she always brings presents home, which isn't the best. But she's such a very affectionate cat. So I can imagine her probably thinking, thank you for adopting me. I love you so much. You're the best. And Kiki is very much an independent cat. She likes cats more than, I guess, dogs and me. So I can stroke her once and she's like, yeah, that's nice, thanks. If I do it again, she's like, no, okay, enough. One more time. So she's like, I'll tolerate you, you don't tolerate me type thing. So they all got their own unique personality, definitely.
That's funny. I've got a black Labrador called Snoop. And if you know anything about Labradors, you know food obsessed. So I think all he would say is like, is it dinner time yet? Is it dinner time yet? Is it dinner time yet? I think that's all he would say. We feed him at the same time every day. We feed him at about probably 3:15 to 3:30 every day. And at about 2:30, he's following you around because he's like, is it time now? Is it time? Is it time?
He's like, look at the bowl and look up like, well.
Yeah, he'd like, is it time now? How about now? It's like that. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? His is like, is it time to have dinner now? Or right, should we see what people have said their pets would say?
Yeah, go on.
I think some of these are going to be really funny. So it says, today is National Pet Day, and to mark this special day, this newspaper took to social media to ask pet owners across the county, one question. What would your pet say if they could talk? So this is the first picture. And the caption is, nosy neighbours. Always someone shouting around here. I think that's brilliant. When I first saw this, I didn't even realise that the middle one was a dog. I was like, that's a very tiny cat. And then I was like,
I love how it's so much smaller than the cat.
It's tiny compared to the cats, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I love cats look like bookends sat like that. Because they're exactly the same as well. They just look, that's really cute. Right, let's see what the next one is.
Ooh.
So we've got a cat. And it says, Jack surely won't be able to resist. Paint me like one of your friends.
Yeah.
I love that. That's brilliant. I love that one. Let's see what else we've got.
Oh.
No one eats in this house and watch. Did someone say sandwich? That's very relatable for me.
Yeah.
That's like my dog is obsessed with cheese. So anytime you open the fridge door, he's there. Like, you having cheese now?
I love that.
This one's quite funny.
Someone's
cat sat on top of it. This was my seat first.
Yeah, cats they don't care.
No. But the thing is, my dog is so big. He's not even a lap dog. So he tries to sit on your lap and it's like, you cannot. You're so big. It's like huge. What else have we got? Let's have a look. Let's see. I've got a couple more. Oh. Just 5 more minutes.
Oh,
so people's pets are so cute. I think it's so. Oh, that was my favourite.
I think you forgot to put me in your suitcase. No way you're going on holiday without me.
I think it's so nice because I think pets could be considered on the same level as siblings, couldn't they? Really?
Yeah.
Like for a lot of people, they can't live without their pets, and I can't imagine not having my dog. You know.
No.
That's lovely. I just when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's so nice. So nice.
I do love having the pet with me because living on your own, it's such a big difference.
Yeah.
I've had puppies for a long time, but I just can't imagine not having a pet at all.
Well, you grow together, don't you? That's the thing. It's like you just get so used to them being there, and it just makes me sad to think like one day not going to be there anymore, and that's just makes me sad.
Yeah. But you know, like you reassure yourself saying like you're giving them a good home and you know, you gave them a friend for life type thing.
Yeah, definitely. So if you're watching and you've got a pet, let us know what you think they would say to you if they could talk. Can you imagine if pets could talk though? I'd be terrified. Just turn around one day and your dog's talking to you.
Yeah, that would freak me out. I said the only communication I get with my dog is Aria because she'll do like moaning noises, like like whining as a way of talking to me. I'm like, what's wrong?
That's brilliant.
But yeah, also like what types of pets do you have as well if you're
Yeah,
watching?
definitely. Some
Because
people I know have got some very exotic pets, like
yeah,
Jordan. He's a snake, or he had a snake. I think he's getting a new one soon. So
oh
I wonder what he would think that his snake would say if you could talk to him.
yeah, that'd be cool actually to find out.
Yeah. So if you've got an exotic pet, please let us know what you think your pet would say to you.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to ask you a question as well. This
Yeah.
is like another news article, and basically, I wonder if I know I have, but if you have been someone that would say the following thing to a supermarket worker that
Okay.
annoys supermarket workers. This was from Wales Online. I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
An employee has shared the most annoying things she hears customers say, and one phrase in particular which supermarket staff hate in a video. We won't watch the TikToks, but the general ones are, at least she hears like 10 times each.
Yeah.
One customer will say, I only came in for one thing, despite having what seems like the whole shop in their trolley. Oh, it's not scanning. Must be free.
Must be free. Oh, I've heard that one so many times.
Yeah. And then another one where if the employee says she isn't fond of customers who say she looks bored, they got to give her something to do. So give her a reason to do something because she looks bored. And then she said, I was happy chilling and counting down the minutes until I finish. And then they give her something to do. So I'm wondering, have you ever said any of those things, or if you've worked in retail, have you heard those things?
So when I used to work in a chemist, my first job was actually working in a chemist, and
Yeah.
I heard a lot of like, oh, it's not scanning, it must be free, or like, you don't know the price, it must be free, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I heard that a lot. And all you could do is be like, haha, no,
Yeah.
it's not actually.
Yeah.
So I heard that one a lot, and that was quite annoying because it's like, no, you're not gonna walk out the door with this. I don't know what you think is going on here, but definitely not free. I know I've probably said the one where it's like, oh, I only came in for one thing, but that tends to be more of a like where they're like, did you find everything you needed today? And you're like, yep, and more. That's what I'm like, yep, and more. Like I came in for, my worst one is Superdrug. I like go in for cotton pads and I come out with an eyeliner and nail polish and this nice smelling body lotion, and it's like I didn't need any of those things, but yeah. So yeah, definitely had all of them. I think the worst one as well is like working in like a pub or a restaurant. Whenever you break something or like something happens and all the customers are like, oh, or clapping, or I remember one of my first shifts in a pub, I opened a bottle of Prosecco and it had one of like the plastic flicky corks on it that you then put back on and put the gas on so it doesn't lose its fizz. And nobody told me it's kind of like it flies off, so you have to hold it while you're opening. So I flicked it up, it went straight up to the ceiling, came back down, hit me in the head, and made the loudest bang I've ever heard in my life. And everyone started, like, it was a roar of clapping and that, horrible. I hate that so much. And I bet so many people, if you're watching, have worked in like a pub or a restaurant and had that, like the embarrassment. You could just feel your face, like the redness.
Yeah, it kind of makes you just want to like slowly descend behind the bar.
I don't want to see any of these people again.
Yeah.
But it's kind of similar to that, isn't it? Like,
it's
got to have something to say, to crack a joke about. So
yeah. I remember with me working in retail, I would always have people complain when I say the bag for 5p.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really, 5p? And I'm like, yeah. And
That's
they,
right.
it's like my fault or something.
Yeah.
And they're just saying, well, because the place I used to work to, their carrier bags were next to nothing. Like
Yeah.
they weren't even, they just felt like thin, like they could rip apart. So
Yeah.
like I understood why they were like 5p for that, really. But
Mm.
at the same time, I'm like, I can't not charge you because I would get in trouble over
Yeah.
a 5p bag. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've heard, and I definitely heard the one about, oh, is it free?
Is it free?
It's
Yeah.
like, it doesn't have a sticker in the back or something, or there's
Yeah.
no barcode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no,
Definitely not
it
free.
will be the price it will be type thing. But do you have like any weird stories where, like you've said, like the bar situation? Have you had any weird, like strange experiences with customers?
Not particularly. Nothing that I can think of off the top of my head.
No.
It was always working in a chemist. It was always like a lot of responsibility. So I think you had to be very like serious, and yeah, it was a lot of like if you messed it up, that was it. Like you were in trouble. But yeah, nothing ever particularly strange.
No.
There were a couple of times where people tried to pick up prescriptions that weren't theirs.
Okay.
And would like come in and say a random name.
Yeah.
That happened quite a few times. But obviously it's like, well, you're not that person. So that happened quite a few times, but nothing that I can think of off the top of my head.
I've had with one customer I had, and I don't know why they did it, but I had my sleeves up and I showed my tattoos. And the person was like, oh, I really like your tattoos. Where'd you get it done?
Yeah.
I told him where, and he went, oh, I got mine there too. And do you want to, like, I will show you right now. I'm like, oh, okay. Thinking it's going to be on his arm.
Oh, no.
He lifted his top up.
Oh, no.
And it's a tiger around, like, the heart of his chest. And it's
in the middle of a shop. Oh, no.
Was just like, okay, that's a bit.
Put your top back down.
And I'm like, okay, that's 99p. Go, please.
There's your shopping. Off you go.
And you can't be rude because you're in customer service, so you have to be as nice as possible. But I was just like, I don't know how to handle this. But through that day, I'll never forget that interaction.
Never forget him.
No.
Oh, that was very funny.
So do you have anything for us?
So the other thing that I've seen that is quite interesting to me, it's a little video that I've seen, and it's about whether people are really larks or owls. So you know the concept of being like a night owl.
Oh yeah, I noticed that actually.
Yeah. So I'll skip the first bit because that wasn't particularly interesting. So.
Yeah.
Society does tend to be structured around early starts, which can leave the owls suffering from chronic sleep deprivation if they can't get to bed early enough to get a full night's sleep. While the lucky larks experience a massive spike in the stress hormone cortisol, which helps them cope with the shock of waking up, owls don't get their chemical boost until later. The sleep researcher Matthew Walker describes this nicely. Getting up early for an owl is like a cold engine after an early morning start. It takes a long time before it warms up to operating temperature. So given all this, who'd be an owl? Well, there are a few advantages. Owls perform better as the day goes on, so they're less likely to get that post-lunch dip in energy levels. On average, evening types tend to be more open to new ideas, more likely to seek novelty, and to be extroverted, which can bring its own benefits. All of which might not be great for health, but maybe the owls have more fun, who knows? But maybe us late types just need to learn to get up a bit earlier. Alas.
So, what are you, Rachel? Are you a night owl or are you a early morning kind of person?
I'd say I'm an early morning type of person. For sure.
Yeah.
I used to be a night owl, but I think it's either with age or something. But I used to be a night owl when I game a lot, and it's like past a certain time.
Yeah.
But I have social life. It's not really practical. So the next morning, it did feel like that, like a cold engine waiting to start, slowly getting there, slowly waking up.
Yeah.
But I've noticed I wake up more early,
Yeah.
and then it still takes me time to slowly wake up, but I'm not up as late now.
Yeah.
So yeah. What about you?
I want to say I'm a morning person, but
Yeah.
I'm really not. But
Okay.
then also, like for me, late nights are 12, 1 o'clock. I can't go any later than that because I know
Yeah.
I'll be absolutely miserable the next day. Like when I work with young people at the building and they're like, oh, I went to bed at 4, 5, and they're up at 9, 10 in the morning. I'm thinking, how are you doing
How?
this? How are you going to bed and then getting up and going to school the next day?
Yeah.
Because even if I go to bed at like 12, 1, and then I'm up at 9, I will feel miserable.
Yeah.
It is like that cold engine. Like it takes me so much longer to
Yeah.
like get out of bed, get in the shower. Like that process takes me probably an hour longer than if I had gone to sleep earlier.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I want to be an early morning person, but I find it very difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah. And to be honest, you might still be in that without realizing the body clock of a uni student.
Yeah.
Because I know sometimes uni students, not saying that you would, but I've been guilty with college work, procrastinate the
Yeah.
night before and
Yeah.
then do the all-nighter. But I think with the kids that come to our yard, I think also with having Red Bull all the time, all them
Yeah,
energy
energy
drinks, and I'm like, I don't know how effective that is. The only thing that worked for me is iced coffee, but not energy drink. But
No.
I'm surprised how many like live on energy drinks. I'm like, oh
Yeah,
my
they
goodness.
do. But then also, like, it's kind of, you could say the same for adults in that we live off of tea and coffee, don't we?
Yeah,
Like, people having 10 cups a day.
especially if it's like the type of coffee. If it's like an espresso or
Yeah,
something, and it's
yeah,
not to everyone's taste, definitely not.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. So so out of the people we work with, who do you think would be a morning or night? Like when we're in work, what impression would you get?
Jordan is definitely a night owl. I know he
Yeah.
enjoys his gaming, so he's
Yeah.
definitely going to be a night owly person.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Sophia's definitely a morning person.
That's
She's
what
a
I
light.
think.
And who else? Jasmine, I think, definitely would have been a lark as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
I agree. Yeah, I did think that with Sophia and
Morning person.
And Jordan, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if Jasmine would be a night owl because of late night readings and stuff.
Possibly.
Every now and then too. So I wasn't sure. But yeah, I thought that was like interesting. And sometimes when you go to work, you kind of present yourself a different way than normal as well. Like with your friends, they'll know that you're not waking up anytime soon.
Yeah.
But at work, you're like, I am.
Yeah.
Like, nothing wrong with me, type thing.
Yeah.
Chirpy mood.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. Do you have another video? Because I have one about not a video, but an article about Biden setting a ban rule for ghost guns.
Go for it. Tell us what he's talking about ghosts.
I know. Can you imagine all the ghouly guns?
Do you believe in ghosts?
Oh, I do.
You do. See, I don't. I don't believe
I
in.
believe in afterlife. So if there's an afterlife, there must be some form of transition.
Yeah.
What makes you not believe in it then?
I think I've not had any experiences with it. Like I know a lot of people that say, "Oh, I've seen something," or like you hear things. I'm like, I'm a bit of a skeptic when it comes to things like that. I'm a bit like, Are you sure it wasn't just the wind? Are you sure it wasn't just a cloth or like, just like, there's a bit of like the whole thing of orbs, in pictures, and there's like orbs in pictures. I'm like, it's just a bit of dirt or
Yeah,
the light on your camera. It's not.
exactly. I
Okay.
think it's like my friend is very much someone that believes in ghosts and spirits and all of that stuff. When she tells me things that she's experienced, I always do the cynical side, like, yeah, but maybe it was like the pipes, or maybe it was the neighbours, or maybe it was this. Like, it's not always going to be ghosts. But then when I'm at their house on my own looking after the dog, then it will be the case of I will hear noises and I'm thinking, that's weird. But like, it's like weird how some houses you get that feeling.
Yeah.
But any other time I'm like, I like ghosts, I like the idea of the afterlife.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go to the point of like trying to be like, look, see?
Yeah. Yeah.
But with this, Joe Biden has set up a new banning sale of untraceable DIY ghost gun kits. And I didn't know this was a thing.
No, I have not heard of it.
So in America, they have the new rule bans businesses from selling kits that can be used to create a gun at home without serial numbers. I didn't know that was a thing where you can buy a kit to make a gun, and that kit does not contain any trace of serial number to be tracked. And when you purchase these things, you do not even need a gun license to
That's
buy
scary.
them. And ghost guns can be self-assembled and sometimes 3D printed, and that background checks have not been previously required to purchase these assembly kits.
Yeah.
And
bullshit.
Biden made a really good point by saying if you buy a couch that you have to assemble, it's still a couch.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't get how they are somehow going through that loophole of not needing.
No, and I think it's good for him to put a ban on them because of how easily you can get your hands on a gun in America anyway.
Yeah.
So why are people feeling like they need to go to the extent to? But no, it's definitely good
make
to put a ban on it.
Like, if I can understand it, if like I don't know, like the barrel is like for a BB gun, or like a Nerf gun, or do it like that with 3D printing. But not if it's like the inside of it can accept any like 22mm guns, bullets, or 19mm bullets either. Like, I don't think it should even be allowed to take that at all.
No.
I never knew that was a thing.
No, I didn't. I think being in England, I think we're quite oblivious to things with guns. I think we haven't got that level of knowledge that they have over there, and I think I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's quite a good thing because I think if we had more knowledge, then it would put us at quite high risk of having a similar situation that they're experiencing. But
but it got me thinking though, because you got like build your own gun kit, and you can just buy them online apparently anywhere. How do you feel about do-it-yourself piercing kits and tattoo kits?
Okay.
I'm not sure they're the best idea.
No, not at all. They're not. I don't think any like trained professional would be like, no, don't do it. I think any trained gun owner would be like, do not build your own gun. Because
like you need the training, you need to understand risk factors by doing those things. Because like I didn't realise how easy it was to get a piercing kit, and I was just like, that's bizarre. I'd rather go into a piercing place and then just get it done. And if there's any problem, I can always go back to them and say, look, you've done this piercing. It's now doing this. So could you help me find the right treatment?
That's
But-
the thing, isn't it? You don't know what's going to go wrong. So even
Yeah.
with like these gun kits, you could compare it to like IKEA furniture. You're
Yeah.
putting something together with instructions that are like 4 pictures, and with a gun, that's your life you're putting
Yeah.
at risk, or someone else's life. Like anything could go wrong with that, and it could be really bad, like really bad.
It could like maybe if it's not assembled right, it could maybe backfire instead of
yeah.
put it forward.
Yeah.
And that would be terrifying in itself.
Yeah, definitely.
But I was like, I just you think to yourself like we're kind of still in like I like to try and expand my knowledge of the world a bit more. And I still realise I'm in this bubble of UK when I didn't know about anything to do with getting your own make your own gun
Make
kit.
your own gun, yeah.
That was very interesting to find out. And it'll be interesting to see if there's an age limit as well.
Yeah, probably not.
There might not be if you can buy piercing.
And if you're buying it online, it's quite easy to use somebody else's details and
that's true.
check stuff when they deliver it. So.
No. So what have you got? Did you say you got another video or?
Not really. No, I think I've covered everything that I found today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was. I just thought with the last news that it was an interesting thing to end on because more of like a topic or like conversation of like, didn't know this.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that either. No, I didn't know that. It's madness, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So, what do we have going on this week with online?
Today is Tuesday, so tomorrow, Wednesday morning, we'll be back for Breakfast Buddies, same time, same place. Hope to see you there. And same again on Thursday morning, we'll be back again for another Breakfast Buddies. Friday, you'll be able to watch Jasmine reading her book, The Giver of Stars, at 4:30. And then you would have seen me yesterday, so Monday, at 4:30, reading my book, which is The Last Wish, all about The Witcher. And we've actually just got to a really good bit. So
fantastic. So thank you for everyone watching at home. Thank you for you, Beth, for joining me.
Thank you.
Just keep in mind, even though the yard is shut at the moment, we are still online. So feel free to leave a comment and send us messages, and we'll be online to respond.
Yeah, definitely. Get us on our social media. So we have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're on Twitch. So if you want to send us a message, please do that, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, and speaking of Twitch, we also have Steve online gaming every night. As well. Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys soon.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.